Like, when I tell y'all, it was so bad. It was literally scary. There was one point where an 18-wheeler was literally stepping on the brake, but the truck was sliding back. That was one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life. Child, what? Hey you guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel, and I hope all of you guys are having an amazing day. Today is day 78 of my YouTube streaks, and I'm so excited to continue on with my journey here on YouTube. Yeah. So I really wanted to be able to do a story time today, y'all. Mainly because there's a lot that's going on this weekend in Atlanta when it comes to the weather, and it's really giving me vibes and making me reminisce back on what happened in 2014. If you're not sure about what I'm talking about, child, here's a glimpse of this right here.
Began before noon yesterday. Ice soon followed. Schools, businesses, and government offices closed early and at nearly the same time. In less than an hour, traffic went from 20 miles an hour to a standstill. Salt and sand trucks could not get through to treat the roads.
We made a mistake by not staggering when people should leave. So I'll take responsibility for that.
Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed.
If we had it to do again, we would have said, schools, you go out, you go first. Private sector businesses, you go second. And government goes last.
In Fulton County, 99 school buses filled with kids were still on the road at midnight. At least 2,000 other students spent the night at school. Mark Nilsson walked 6 miles to pick up Elizabeth at kindergarten. Georgia Governor Nathan Deal said the storm hit Atlanta harder and sooner than anyone expected.
I don't blame anyone. Mother Nature has a mind of its own.
But the National Weather Service told us its forecast was spot on and that they issued the first storm warning 21 hours before it started.
You guys, so the reason why I ended up being into this, I actually wasn't even living in Atlanta at the time when it happened. I was living out in Indianapolis, and I was working out there. So my brother, he was my younger brother. He's like a year and a couple months, or almost 2 years younger than me, basically, you can say. He was shot and killed back on January 27th of 2014. So I came down to Atlanta to be with my family when the whole incident happened. When I flew down to Atlanta, my cousin and her friend were coming to the airport to come and pick me up. I believe I arrived at the airport around like 11 a.m. If I'm not mistaken. I believe that it was, though. It was around like 11 a.m. And the Atlanta airport is in College Park, for the ones that don't know. My family was living in Gwinnett County, out in the middle pretty much of Gwinnett County. From the airport to where my family was staying was approximately like 35 to 40 minutes, depending on what time you're driving, because if y'all know, Atlanta got that traffic, child. But yes, let me tell y'all, my flight landed around 11, so you're probably gonna like be to the airport around the time the person's flight is there, and I don't think I was gonna really be there anyway. I didn't check in the bag. I had to carry on, basically, is what I'm saying. So, and I know the airport, it wasn't gonna take me long to get to the door. Usually, as soon as I land, it'll probably be like maybe 15 minutes, and I'm out the door in the car or something like that, you know what I'm saying? But I literally sat in the airport for probably like 2-3 hours, y'all, not knowing what was going on outside. I was calling my cousin, and I was trying to find out what was taking so long, because they knew what time I got there, and I know how like long it takes to get to the airport from where they was coming from. So I couldn't understand why I was still in the airport for like 2 to 3 hours waiting on them. You know what I'm saying? Even if I had just landed and I called them to come pick me up and they was over at the house, it wasn't going to take them that long. So I was calling and calling and calling, and it got to the point where she wasn't answering because she was irritated herself. So when they finally got there and I went and I got in the car, I was finally like relieved, like, dang, okay, I'm finally in the car. And that's when I realized what was going on. When we finally was like exiting the airport and getting back on the highway, trying to make our way, going back to where we was going, we didn't even literally get out of the actual airport way before I seen this is chaotic. It took them forever to get to us because the streets were so bad and like icy. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't like snow that was out there, and that wasn't the problem at all. It did snow that day, but it was like flurries and stuff like that. It was more so freezing rain, you guys, and people wasn't prepared for any of that. Just like you heard what they said, like people, y'all know how it is. The news literally will tell you what's going on, and people don't do anything until after everything kind of unfolds. And that's exactly what happened on that day. Y'all, when I tell y'all, it literally took us 21 to 22, probably even 23 hours. It literally almost took us 24 hours to get home, y'all. It was so crazy. We got onto the highway. The traffic was moving so slow. Mind you, on the way for her to come and pick me up, she was already building up all this like ice and all that stuff on her tires, all in between the wedges and stuff. So her tires wasn't already in good condition to be driving in that weather. But when we was trying to make it home, it was like in even worse condition, y'all. We literally didn't even make it home. We didn't make it home. It was so many people. It was, y'all, literally 3 lanes on Highway 85 North was filled with cars that didn't have no gas because it was sitting in their car for so long, and nobody was moving because nobody was able to move. The ice was so slippery on the road. It literally it had freezing rain that day, and that was going on in like the morning. You know what I'm saying? I got there at 11 o'clock, so that was going on in the morning. So it was like an all day type of thing. Y'all, people were out walking on the side of the highway, like trying to get places. Nobody was really able to come and help you because the roads were so icy. There was people in their cars literally sleep. I seen this one person that we had went by literally sleep with her foot on the brake because she was sitting there for so long. Y'all, like when I tell y'all, it was so bad. It was literally scary. There was one point where an 18-wheeler was literally stepping on the brake, but the truck was sliding back. That was one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life. Child, what? Yo, we had to pull into some type of area, like a store plaza type of thing, and wait for my auntie them to come and pick us up. I don't remember who was driving the car, but I think they came with like my auntie's car, and they came and they had to literally come and rescue us, y'all, because that car wasn't able to go. The tires was iced up. The tires was iced up, literally, you know what I'm saying? So it really wasn't moving like that. So they had to come and get us. You guys, even when they came and get us, it still took us forever to get home. We literally did not make it. Mind you, I didn't get in the car until probably like 2 p.m. or something like that. We didn't get home until like almost the next morning. We was out there all night. We didn't get home until the next morning. And I don't even know what time it was. I feel like it was probably I feel like it could have been like anywhere from 9 to 11 a.m. that we got home, y'all. Like we was on the road for so long. It was so crazy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? So with this coming back around again, I looked at the weather a few days ago, and it said that Friday and Saturday was supposed to be snowing. But now when I looked at the weather, it said that Friday will be snowing and Saturday will be raining. But I know for sure it's going to be freezing rain. So is this going to be another repeat of 2014? This is what they're saying now, y'all. Listen to this report.
Sounding the alarm for the potential of ice and snow threatening the Atlanta region. Our meteorologists are watching this storm closely, expected to arrive Friday, and the governor tonight instructing leaders to start preparing for the worst. Atlanta News First senior reporter Patrick Quinn joins us tonight along I-20 in Atlanta. Patrick, treating the roads, it is already a focus.
And tonight we learned that the governor has issued that crews will start treating these roads here along I-20 and north of I-20 starting on Thursday. In Atlanta, they have issued a level 2 notice just this afternoon, which means they too will start treating Atlanta roads starting 1 a.m. on Thursday all the way to 1 p.m. on Thursday. If you've been in the Atlanta region for, say, 11 years or so, you know how buckled this region can get with snow and ice, and leaders right now, they're not taking any chances.
I would say that I am optimistically nervous.
Chris Stallings, director of Georgia's emergency management, told me it's not the snow that worries him come Friday, it's the increasing potential for ice across north and central Georgia.
I don't want to be the boy that cries wolf, so I try not to emphasize a storm. This storm is lining up, as we said earlier, to have the recipe for ice, simply because of how cold the ground is going to be leading into this event.
Snow and ice potential across metro Atlanta in January, a formula that for many of you brings flashbacks to 2014. The Snowmageddon that paralyzed the region with more than 1,000 car crashes, thousands more stalled on the interstate, and tens of millions of dollars in collective damage. Stallings was there. He said the state is light years more prepared.
Did we have a bad scene in 2014? Yeah, I was a trooper working it. I was out there trying to get folks out of it. So I lived it. I can tell you, I don't want to do that again.
The Georgia Department of Transportation told me they have nearly 2,000 employees on call to cover nearly 50,000 miles of interstate and state routes. With nearly 1.8 million gallons of brine, crews will start treating major state interstates, including I-20, on Thursday.
We are prepared. We are ready to help where needed.
Alicia Brown with Georgia Power said they too are watching the forecast and ready to respond to downed power lines and the increased threat of outages should the elements pack a punch.
We have continued to invest in our grid to make sure during times like these that we can get the power back on as quickly as possible.
And the preparation for Friday's weather event is really just beginning. Stallings told me that starting tomorrow and into Thursday, that's when they're going to be talking with schools to figure out which school districts potentially need to close on Friday or go remote. And also certainly they will be focused on the unhoused communities and the elderly population, making sure that there are backup generators in place should that ice and snow pack a punch. We're live tonight along I-20. Patrick Quinn, Atlanta News First.
So, you guys, they're saying that tomorrow morning, like you heard them, today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. So tomorrow morning, they're going to be putting out the salt and all of that. I know for sure that people out here in Atlanta aren't used to that type of weather. I know that for sure. I really hope that not a lot of people are going to be on the road. I hope that they're not going to be on the road. I don't want this to be a repeat of what happened in 2014. That was really scary for so many people, y'all. So, like, you heard them, like, the kids was stuck on the bus when that happened back then. Like, y'all, sleeping in the schools? No. It's too cold for all of that. And then for you to just be alone, like not in a bed, like, ooh, child. It's just too much. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that you guys are just off of the road and not having to be in that situation, because that was not fun to do and to see. A lot of people really didn't know where the help was coming from, because anybody you was going to call wasn't going to be able to make it to you. Everybody literally was struggling trying to figure out what they was going to do, and it was freezing cold outside, you know? So I really hope that y'all stay safe out there. It's just a lot that's going on right now. It's a lot that's going on. They got fires going on in Los Angeles right now. It's a blizzard dang near all over the north part of the United States and all of that. Like, what? It's a lot going on right now, y'all. So I'm really just hoping that everybody stays safe. I really hope that you guys get whatever you need about the store and do what you gotta do before all of this like starts to unfold, because we don't know what it's actually going to be until it happens. You know, but I do know that people have things that they have to do. Like some people can't call off for work, some people can't do this, and you know, all of that. But I remember 2014, and I really hope that this is not a repeat of 2014, y'all, because yeah. But if you were in the midst of that and you remember all of that, definitely let me know down in the comments, like how that was for you and what you remember seeing on the news, like how you felt about the whole thing, especially if you was out here in Atlanta around that time. Yeah, y'all, I miss my brother every day, especially around this time of the year when things like this happen, and just around this time of the year because of everything that happened with him, you know, so rest in peace to my brother. But yeah, you guys, thank y'all so much for continuing to put out your content and continuing to strive here on YouTube and doing the best that you can do. Prayers sent to everybody for safety, y'all. For safety, because yeah. Yesterday I had 1,020 subscribers, and today I have 1,017. I had went down, but it's okay because I know I'm going to go up. So thank you to all of my subscribers I have already. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for continuing to hold me down. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, y'all. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.